You're supposed to go silent when you say the last few. I've seen that on TV and
Minus
movies.
1, minus 2, minus 3.
Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to another pleasant episode of What the Hell is Wrong with Dead by Daylight. We're putting the band back together.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting. Hi, Dave.
Hello.
Hey. Today I have Dave with me. Bjorn is here, obviously, to make sure that this does not nothing catches on fire.
And that's it.
That's it. Thank you very much. Bye. Jokes.
Okay, what else?
Well, we should thank our mods, the ones that are jumping into the thing. Do you want to click the button and say hello to people?
I don't remember how it works. It's here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Just give me a
No,
break.
but things haven't changed that much, really.
Okay. Okay. So we have Getawid, Murph, not Queen, as a mod today.
Yeah.
Ryuti, is that alright? Yeah? Okay.
Close enough.
Shiroku, Suggestive, and Vorfidis.
Well, thank you for joining us and helping us herd these cats. Yes. I'm saying cats as in the cool jazz cats people. I should make this silent. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So today we do want to talk about a few things. First of all, the last patch that we released is probably underwhelming for a few of you, but overall it's extremely useful for us. We're trying to make our save system more robust. So obviously now there's a save icon that tells you don't unplug your console or turn off your computer while this little spinny thing is
Don't
spinning.
do it.
Or you might lose progress. And we also have a few more checks and balances throughout the process to make it a little more rigorous and also to get us more information so that we have a better idea on how to fix. Well, we fixed a few issues of the loss of progress.
Yeah.
Probably not all of them. There might still be a few out there. So if you encounter them, please fill in the support tickets. These are super useful. We need as much information as we can. Plus, it allows us to actually give back blood points and things like that.
Yeah.
Other than that, the Lunar New Year survey is being finalized right now by Gabrielle. It's one of the many things that are piling up on her desk, and one of the reasons why she's not sitting right here right now. She was a little overwhelmed, so Dave stepped in.
Because I'm not.
No, you have way too much to do. But you can.
No, it's fun. I like to be here once in a while.
Huh. All right, interesting. We're looking at comments. Please feel free to ask interesting questions. We'll be happy to answer them. So Lunar New Year survey should come out really quickly in the next few days, I imagine, maybe next week, to collect your thoughts and your suggestions about what we can do about events. I think the Lunar New Year event was extremely well received. It was super positive. It was cool. At least we enjoyed it from our side. We want to know more about how you felt it went so that we can make the next ones even better.
Man, you crushed it. Seriously. I was looking at the number. It was like, whoa.
Yeah. So, I mean, we always try to make sure that the goal is achievable, but it needs to be a bit of a stretch so that you actually have to, it should be a challenge. But this time... it was fun.
Well.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
I hope that my opinion of it is actually justified. So when we do the survey, the people come back and say, yes, it was cool to burn the offering so that we can go in and get coins. But we'll see. Other little piece of news here. We will be... Oh, people are saying, Dave is back. Hi, Dave. Oh, the survey is live, by the way, on social media. So, wonderful. Well done, Gabrielle. Thank you for doing that. So, the survey is live now. So, if you feel like giving your opinion, please do.
Absolutely.
Check. It's on our social media. So, what I was going to say is, there's a little bit of an announcement here. Small little piece of information. We will be at PAX East this year, which is April 5th to 9th to 14th. I have to check.
Help you.
I'm an idiot. I should have checked that before. So we will be there at PAX East with quite big announcements for behavior digital, and also for Dead by Daylight. We will have, especially if you come here, not here, but if you come to
PAX.
Boston physically and come to the booth, you will come away with something that is mind-blowing, I believe is the correct term.
I agree.
That's what I've been told. April 5th to 8th. There you go.
Yeah.
I wasn't far off. Because before that, we're going to GDC.
Yes.
So if you are in San Francisco in 2 weeks, Dave and I will be at GDC. Dave is giving a talk on Dead by Daylight and how it came to be and what we're doing with that. It should be extremely interesting. So if you're in San Francisco, if you have a badge for GDC, come see us, come say hi.
Yeah.
Or not. Actually, they usually put those videos up afterwards.
Yeah,
so people
afterwards.
can watch
I don't know how
the
it's
talks.
going to work and when, but we'll track it for sure. And we're actually talking a little bit about you in that presentation.
All of you?
All of them.
Oh, cool. All right, so we have a question. Has there been anything specific about what time this is taking place? Is the realm of the entity a place without time? That's a lore question. So what's the exact timing of it?
Yeah, there's we can't know. Inside the entity, there's no time. It's another time.
And the link between that place and here, the links are sort of in weird places, so they don't always link up to.
Yeah, I mean, some characters really define this place as completely out there because we know that we have characters from different timeline of, I mean, our world, and then there's Bill that comes from another
alternate,
timeline, another alternate universe. So
even
it's all over
things
the
like
place.
the Quentin doesn't come from the same place as Leatherface.
Right. No, absolutely.
So it's a bit of a nexus kind of thing where connects the different places and different times, and it is not a place without time.
No.
Time does pass
Absolutely.
in that realm.
Yes.
But it's a little wobbly. Let's say to use a Doctor Who way of expressing it. It's timey-wimey wobbly. So. Is the smoke coming out of the fire in the menus really smoke, or is it really the entity and how it presents itself without having a sacrifice on a hook? Well, it's a little of a finicky question.
Well, I mean, everything in the fog is created by the entity, but is
From
also,
the entity?
Yeah, from the entity. It's also very real. So if there's a fire with smoke, it's smoke.
Yeah. Then again,
It's the entity as
fire and the smoke and everything else. Yeah. I like that we're getting a lot of lore questions. These are my favorite questions by far. Some of them, and it's interesting because some of these questions are we have the answers already. We've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
And some of these questions we've never even considered, and we sort of answer because it makes sense with the world there, so we can explain it.
We know about our world enough so that we can make shit up live.
Oh, not the basement is asking, if you're answering lore questions, you said last stream that killers are kept each in their own place. Then is the main screen a lie? They can't stalk the survivors.
Well, as far as I know, there's only one killer at a time in that
Yes, absolutely.
lobby.
Unless you're referencing the screen where you see the faces and you click, but that's not really a place.
icons. It's not really a place.
But they're kept separate from each other, the killers, and then they get to a place where they can stalk the victims.
But I mean, it's not a hard rule. There could be a pocket somewhere in the fog where they are having a party, but I doubt it. But it could happen.
No, they wouldn't tell us, probably.
Once every 23 years.
That sounds like a very precise number to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. We have a few questions from Steam that are here that you answered, so I will ask you some.
Okay.
Here, why exactly do you choose to balance the game around rank 20?
It's a good question, and I remember the stream where we kind of talked about this, and it wasn't what we really wanted to say. It's not the case. It's really sounded like we were tweaking an entire gameplay component just to cater for the rank 20. But when we balance and we change mechanic, we are inclusive of all of our players. So if we're going to change something to help the higher rank, for example, we are careful that it doesn't make the game really difficult for a lower rank. So usually it's going to be mechanics that are not even seen, or problems that are not even seen by a lower rank, and vice versa.
Yeah. So I think what we were saying, if not last week, the week before, we were talking about maybe like a 90-10 split, where most of the decisions have to do with all survivors or all killers, or most of the time all players, and then there's a 10% of our game mechanics or tweaks or things that are specifically for a target group, but they always take into consideration the effect it's going to have on everybody else.
Yes.
But you know, it's an increasingly complex issue for us, balances or new mechanics, because of the large quantity of mechanics and like perks and powers and add-ons and items and everything else that we've created already. Just creating a small little thing has so many implications and ramifications that it's a constant puzzle. Yes, correct. All right, here, how come Trapper has two different animations when he hits someone? First person animation looks like he breaks his arm, and this animation has been broken since 1.5. Third person animation is how it's supposed to look.
Right. So to answer this question fully, you have to understand that every character that is played first person, so every killer in our game, has different animations in first person and in third person, because to make the animation look good in first person, you need specific angles or a specific movement.
It needs to make sense to you.
Always separated. We always do two animations. Now, the issue with the arm with the Trapper might be really something. We'll check into the animation to make sure that it's fine.
Yeah.
But that's why there's two different animations.
And that's unfortunate. But usually visual glitches, unless they're game breaking, like let's say the killer has something in his field of view all the time. We've had these bugs where some.
The mask appear and you don't see anything.
But unless if it's a bent arm or something like that that doesn't affect gameplay, they tend to not get to the top of the priority list as easily as the rest. And since we try to fix everything, they usually get fixed when we're fixing something in that region of the game, and then we're like, oh, let's do this at the same time.
Yeah. But at least when you tell us about a bug like this or a potential bug, we always make sure that it's in our database.
Yes,
and if it's
absolutely.
not, we create it.
That's absolutely correct. We have here, hi devs, I'm at 100 out of 101 Steam achievements. Please make more achievements soon. But I'm having rather difficulty completing the taking one for the team achievement. Could you explain exactly what is required? Because I'm pretty sure I'm doing things that should progress that achievement, but it does not work. Maybe it's broken or needs to be adjusted. Thanks.
Maybe it is broken. So I've checked before the stream.
Yeah.
I went on Steam and checked global achievement, and 0.9% of the entire player base have achieved this one. So just to put you in context, it's the bill. It's not bill, but really it's when you block damage in the hook zone. So when you protect someone, you should receive a score event, and this is what triggers the count up of the achievement. So it's easy to test. We'll make sure that it actually works. Again, it's going to be prioritized in the bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These kinds of bugs, though, they tend to make it to the top because achievements are annoying.
And congrats on that 100 out of 101.
Yeah, that's props. That's e-meal.
Yeah.
All right, lots of people asking about the alternate customization concepts you showed for David King and Feng Min months back. People want to know if any progress has been made on those. Has any progress been made on those?
I don't know.
Well, you probably know.
Yeah, I know.
But you can't talk about it.
No.
Which tells me that probably something's happening.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, you cannot confirm or...
No.
No.
Maybe.
Okay. Once you will be done making solo queue survivors are strong as survive with friends survivors, what are your plans on changing the killer to match those if there are any?
All right, so this question is about, I'm sure that you discussed this in the stream.
It's okay, those questions keep coming back, we will keep answering them.
Exactly, the idea that some things that are communicated through Survive with Friends really should be part of a survivor that is alone. There's some information that we should give away, which can surely make the survivor stronger. Is there something done to the killer? Yes, so we're currently working on a lot of changes on the killer. That's going to change the speed of his action, what he's actually doing, the animation of the interactions, and a lot of different core components such as the attack, the chase in general. So this comes as a big package. No dates yet, but it's something we're actively looking into right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a question here. Slasher movies are 90% of the time light-hearted and cheesy fun. Yeah, for a lot of the 80s slasher movies, at least, they're way over the top. Why did you decide to keep the tone of the game overly serious? Well, I debate the fact that the game is overly serious, but it's true that
funny things in there.
Yeah.
Man, quite a few.
Yeah. But it was important to us to not become overly silly.
Yeah.
And the line is a little blurry there, so it's not a very strict line, so we had to be sure to stay at least a little bit away from it. But there are characters
Absolutely.
that are
more a little bit on the humor side.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And I mean, we're the first two to really love comedy and comedy in games. So yeah, it's part of it. Just 90% is a bit.
Well, that depends
you know?
what slasher movies you're talking about.
Exactly.
Some are very serious. Like if you watch the original Halloween, it's a serious movie.
It's very serious.
Even the first Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's not
serious.
funny.
No, at all. So yeah,
but there are a lot of lighthearted and cheesy fun, especially if you go to Freddy, the original, with Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
But for us, it was important that the game be serious mostly, and the humor is there, but it's not a humorous game.
No, it's a horror game.
It's a horror game. What's this? Oh, horror equals scared.
Yeah, I mean that's the deal, right?
Yeah.
Don't want you to laugh. Not all the time.
So not including Bill and Ace, how old are the other survivors? Why not including Bill and Ace?
Because it's clear that they're older.
Yes.
I would say.
Yeah, okay.
Like, we can't answer specifically. They're all adults.
That's for sure. And international adults, so 21.
Yeah.
That's it. This one is for Dave Richard. He said David. No,
that's a
it's
shot.
Dave. That's a shot. Are you guys actually working on a solution for the hatch standoff?
Yeah.
Yeah? Please tell me about it.
Okay. So we're still working on that. It has a lot of implication, but it's actually quite simple. Killer gets to the hatch, closes the hatch.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Is it working? As in, testing the system and working all the edge cases, and it makes sense in game and it's fun?
It's getting there, yeah.
Okay.
It's getting there.
Can it be opened again?
With a key. Well, actually, that's what we're testing. There's different lever. Maybe it's gonna reopen after a gen. Maybe it's gonna reopen after some time. Not sure yet. But for now, it's closed.
All right. Way too far. Shut your hatch.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. The boxes in the Bloodweb are supposed to contain add-ons and offerings of the same rarity as the box. Why is it still possible to get add-ons offering of lower rarity?
All right, so by design, a box is supposed to give you something equal to the box or something way nicer. So rarity up, that's how it's supposed to work. So if this happens, it's a bug. We'll look into it.
Okay. Have you considered adding more survivor objectives, such as requiring a generator to be fueled up before it can be fired up? Also, a very common question that keeps popping back, whether it's alternate objectives or like making the objectives different or bigger.
Yeah. I mean, one thing you're gonna see for sure in this type of objective is in events like Lunar Year, what just happened. We're gonna play with different objectives like that and have fun. It was also discussed at some point, and I mean, I'm saying that just for fun. It's not something that's gonna happen anytime soon. But we're having fun with saying that as the survivor go up in ranks, their objective becomes tougher. So they need to do more steps towards repairing and then exiting the map.
Oh, so Shiroku says that he spoke with Thomas about that, and it's only the ultra rare boxes that do that, but it is a bug.
The ultra rare that gives you something less? Oh man, okay. So it's a known bug.
And it's a bad bug.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the information. All right. Here we have, any plans on bringing Darkest Moonlight back as an offering on the Bloodwebs? That's interesting because we were talking about that actually, I think a day or two ago, about these offerings that we removed from the game.
Yeah.
So is there an intention of bringing them back?
Absolutely not. The problem why we retired these offerings is because they added an enormous weight on the team every time we create a new map. Because it means creating the lighting for the map, making sure that it works everywhere, and then doing another light pass for all the different offerings in combination, and then the perks that also affect the lighting. So it was a good idea at first, but now with all the maps, it's just not something we can sustain.
It was extremely restrictive.
Yes.
And we didn't feel like it brought that much.
No, it's not
more.
used that much. Once in a while it was fun to play, but really it wasn't worth it. So that's why we retired.
And these decisions are always very difficult. Retiring something that we thought was so clever when we made it. I mean, it's true. We thought it was super clever. And at the beginning of the game, when the game was very new and there was not that much to play around with, it was really, really cool. But it became more of a burden that we kept dragging with us, and it was preventing us from pushing the visual quality and the innovation of the new maps. So we took it out. So it's not coming back.
No.
That is for sure. But we might do other things that have an impact on the map.
So if you have one in your inventory, keep it.
A killer can feel pain, right? Does that mean they can die? If they die in the entity's realm, what happens?
Well, what happens to Survivor when they die?
It's not the end, that's for sure.
No.
As they say, it's not an escape. But so the killers definitely can feel pain. When you hear them grunt and bitch when they get snapped into traps, pallets, or things. It doesn't necessarily mean they can die, but if they did, then it would probably be as significant as survivors dying. Can things truly die in the world of the entity? It's a very good question. It's a very good question. That's it. Pops Ghostly asks, for the sake of suspense, will you remove the loading screen tip that blatantly tells survivor which killer they're facing? Either that or have the killer tip be selected randomly from any of the killer.
So the idea with that loading tip is that it appears only for the couple first matches against that specific killer. So the first time you're going to face a new killer on your save game, basically. So after the 5th time, I think, that you face Myers, the loading tip can be anything. What?
No, just trying to read things from the chat, but it goes fast really quickly,
Too fast.
And some of it is inappropriate for a mature audience. So yes, the tips are only for the first few matches. I think it's extremely useful, especially when you come out with something funky like Freddy or the pig, because people need to understand how to play against.
That's one reason that we've put it in, is because a new player will not only face one of 3 killers like at the beginning of the life of the game. There's a lot now with funky powers, so this will help for the couple of first matches.
Especially because, I mean, we're not done. There's going to be more killers with funky powers. Alright, here. How long does it take from the whiteboard to get a character into the game?
So we've looked into that. The updated number is 4 months.
Yeah, it's an average. Sometimes it's a little longer, sometimes a little shorter. And some steps can shrink and grow. Obviously the licensed killers, the beginning where we're trying to figure out what they look like, for instance, is going to go much faster because it's already nailed down. But the approval for our own killers is usually faster because it's among ourselves and we validated every step.
But there's more research.
Yes, so it balances out to about 4 months. Some powers also and perks have been a little easier to get into the game and to debug. Yeah, that's about that. It's me again with another lore question. Hey, Gunmech. Hello again. What became of Vigo and the people on the lost tapes? Did they escape, or did the entity take them somewhere else once they lost hope?
All right, so we don't know if they lost hope, right? Maybe not. Maybe they're dead for good, maybe not. But it's important to understand that within the realm of the entity, there's not just one place that exists at one time. There's pockets, so bubbles, and there's plenty in there. So some survivor live in there, will never be around. You know, maybe Kate is here somewhere, we don't know. Quentin is here, and then another character, Vigo, might still be in the realm somewhere else, and maybe someday we'll meet.
Those pockets can cross-pollinate and
Absolutely.
touch in weird places.
Yeah. That's it.
It's true. It's quantum mechanics at its core. It's about this.
Science.
Yeah, super straightness. All right. That's it. A round of questions. All right.
Easy.
Do we have any more questions in the chat that people have right now? Oh, maybe everything's been said now.
That's it.
Are we done?
Wait, I'm gonna check here.
Touching tips? Killer sound fix. Yes, we are actively working on that right now. That's going way too fast.
Huh. Yeah, it's too fast. No. We'll need help with
Give
them outside.
us figurines of the killers.
Oh, that'd be
I'd
nice.
love that.
Yeah, me too.
I'd love that. So on the merch side, because we haven't talked about it in a while, these things are like I think it was the great late Douglas Adams was talking about how to make movies in Hollywood, but it's essentially the same process or worse for making merchandise, like physical things relating to a license you own. It's like trying to cook a steak by having a lot of people come into a room and breathe on it one after the other for months. It's really not efficient, but it's taking forever. It's just really taking forever. But we have a lot of really cool opportunities and cool prospects out there.
Can't wait.
And it's like lawyers are trying to make things take time, like paid by the hours. That's not true. Our lawyers are not. Well, we have one.
Yeah.
She's really nice. D-Pips. Well. Man, that's way too fast. So that's why our mods are there and supposed to help us. Has a killer ever gone to the drawing board but was cancelled because their power was too strong? If so, what was their power? That's a good question.
So there's some.
I can remember one from the original prototype. That was the flying killer.
Yeah.
Because the original prototype, you essentially pressed the button and it was randomized. There was like 20 weird powers and you just get a power and go. And the flying killer was super fun, but it was unplayable. Just because you just go up in the map and you just fly around and go, oh, he's there, and then hit them and they die.
Yes.
It was fun, but it's just unmanageable.
Yeah. So I mean, we've prototyped a lot of different ideas. And it's an iteration process, so usually if we do a prototype of a power and it's too strong, we don't stop there.
We tweak it until it's
until it works.
Nothing was ever like designed that was just, you put it on the board and everybody goes, that's not possible, it's way too big. There's always a way to sort of massage it into the game.
I mean, usually the power that will be too strong, like flying, are not even started.
They're not really considered.
No.
There are some powers that I've talked about that we're not exactly sure how to make that work in the game. There's a few that keep coming back. Things like the killers who take different shapes, for instance, taking the shapes of survivors or things like that. It's a power that keeps coming back in different shapes, and we look at it and go, we're not sure exactly how to make that work, but we don't scrap them. We just put them aside until someone has a really great idea of how to make it work.
Absolutely.
And they usually there's a big bucket of all these powers and they keep coming back.
Oh
Will you update the older Survivor models since the newer Survivors look more polished visually? It's a good question. I debate. I think that some of the Survivors may be feel less polished, but I think that some of the older ones are also some of the greatest one. Like Meg still looks absolutely gorgeous.
Absolutely.
There's a few things like that, but yes, there will be things for Survivors, but we're probably not gonna. It's in the same way, we're probably not gonna go back and redo the old outfits, just because it's a lot of work. It would be as much work as making new outfits,
Yeah.
and I think that you would rather get new outfits than getting the older ones redone. But that's my gut feeling. You tell me if I'm wrong. Is there a killer in progress now?
Well, there's always something on that front. Like we're always working. I mean, as we mentioned, if it takes 4 months to create something, we can't decide when it's time to have the killer ready. Hey, let's start the 4 month now. So there's always something in development.
Is there a pattern to the way I guess? Is there a pattern to the way the entity chooses what kind of survivor faces which killers, such as why Feng was chosen to face the Doctor? Are all characters packaged together, connected in some way?
Absolutely not. There's a lot of survivors and actually chapters that the characters have nothing to do together.
Some have a very light connection, but most of them don't at all.
Mm-hmm.
Ace and the
The
Hag,
Hag, nothing.
very little.
Yeah.
Nia and the Nurse.
Nia Nurse, yeah,
Yeah.
because absolutely. The link is the asylum.
Yeah.
But yeah, not all of them.
The Huntress and David.
No.
Nothing.
No.
So there. And for the licensed ones, well, obviously
Yes.
they come together.
Anything else?
Anything else? Well, maybe we stop there.
Well, yeah, there was a matchmaking question.
Okay.
Might as well. It's the only one I saw
Okay.
in the field. It's like, why do level 1 characters are sometimes matched with rank 1? And the reason is that when we do the matchmaking, with the ranks go larger and larger so that you can play eventually.
Yeah.
Because we asked the question at some point, and we also decided that it's better to play than
to be matched perfectly.
Yeah.
So we should get the exact numbers, although we've tweaked them and changed them over time. But if you're waiting for let's do an extreme. But if you're waiting for 5 minutes, you're essentially looking at every possible player out there. It's much more complicated than that. Actually, the system is more complex than that. I'm not the one who designed it, but it's absolutely. I think it's over a minute, but I'd say 5 just to be sure, because I'm gonna be misquoted as usual. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's at some point you're looking at every single player out there, and we're trying to match you geographically and rank wise. It's way too fast, huh? So it seems like our mods think that those questions are not as exciting, or just way too fast anyway. I want a rate plushie. Yeah.
Me too.
Everybody wants a rate plushie. Someone is asking about Mart 88's experiment. I'm not sure what that is. I will look into that. I'm sure Gabrielle has an opinion on it, but she's not here. She would answer. I miss her dearly. But yes, I'll look into that, and I'll give you my opinion after this. Okay, well, if there's no more questions, I will take that as a sign from my mods that there are no more questions. They keep having questions, but they're too fast. We can't look at them.
It's a lot about when are you going to fix that bug, what about this bug, so it's hard to answer for us.
Yeah, there's a big push on the bug fixing, but okay. So There's a talk happening with Mart88 tomorrow. Okay, good, perfect. Thank you, Gabrielle. As usual, as I knew, she's on top of that. I can say it. Oh, thank you. That should be the first thing you write there. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So we'll wrap it up, I guess, for today. When's the sound being fixed? Yeah. Okay. So Fred, our sound guy, is working on that right now. Excellent. So just to go quickly back on the news, the latest patch for the people. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely right. I completely forgot to go to
the treat.
The treat. Okay, so let's look at that. In the meantime, if our mods find anything exciting, they can put it there. So let's go to around the web. What else was found today? Look at this. That's leftover Valentine's Day treats. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. Again, beautiful, slightly different style to what we usually get. Love it. Little diner scene here. It would make a great diorama or something. I like it. Thank you.
Entity buffet.
Yes.
That's nice.
What is this?
Hello!
Yeah, that's a good look. Demented doctor. Oh, that's so nice. They're not that happy. Cool. Sandy Mizaki at it again. Seriously, it never stops. Beautiful work. This one, I think I saw it on Twitter. Someone was saying, I tried my hand at the Dead by Daylight stuff. I hope it's okay. And I'm like, this is beautiful. You made it your own, and we're very happy with it.
I mean, we're recognizing it's perfect.
Yeah. I always need a little Nia in there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. A nice group photo.
Yeah. Beautiful group picture.
Oh, I have to say,
yes,
to all the artists that are making like family picture, and we're just adding more and more content, and these family picture become more and more, bigger. You're super courageous, and I love it. It's great.
Oh, I like this so. It's so warm and touching, really. I don't know why these two, but it's okay. I love that there's a long story behind it that we don't know. And
yes.
The most beautiful thing, because I saw this and I'm like, this is absolutely amazing. And then I realized that at the bottom there, it's a box of Mike and Ike, the candy.
Nice.
So that's what's raining on him right now. That's so good. This is my very, very nice and appropriate ending today.
Oh, okay. It's soft.
It's soft, yes.
Where's Mr. Ding Dong?
Not today. Okay, someone asking about emblems, anything?
Yeah.
PTB?
Is that a thing?
I don't know. You're telling me. So we had a PTB. We looked at the results. We tweaked things.
Yes.
What's next?
Well, we want to do another PTB.
There you go.
That's what we want to do.
Okay.
And I'm unsure when it is though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look for it. So the system changed quite a bit. There's a new hooks in there to make sure that more gameplay styles are reflected. The emblems are going to be fairer. Can we say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a word.
More fair for killers and survivors. So it's really interesting, and we want to have another round of tests with you guys. Get your feedback. It's coming.
All right. There's a bunch of questions which are essentially questions about bugs. So Huntress Hatchet collision issues. We know design is aware. Balanced landing is having a mysterious cooldown. QA will be made aware. Scratch marks and game sounds. The appropriate people are working on this as we speak. And also frequent question about the Hag Cube. So the Hack Cube is bigger than that. It's also talking about the hex perks and how we refinagle this whole thing. It's a big one. We're not tackling it as we speak. No. Not right now.
So here's how I see it. I talked about it earlier in the Twitch. We're looking into making killer adjustments, and I prefer to have more players impacted by these change rather than a specific character. This doesn't mean that we're not going to look into specific characters afterwards, though.
Okay. When will survivors be able to hook killers? It's a very
Not sure.
serious question. Okay, with the game growing and more perks coming into the game, what about having a set of 3-4 perks that you could buy with shards or blood points that every couple of days rotate then randomly? That way newer players might be able to grind and get enough blood point and shards to get all 4, therefore advance a bit faster. So that's a good idea, but it's talking about the whole progression system, how you unlock things, how the perks are presented to you, whether with teachables, whether with the shrine, and that's something that we are really seriously working on right now.
Absolutely, right at this
You
moment.
are correct. The system we had in place worked well at the beginning. Now it grew so much that it needs to be looked at again.
Yeah, working on that.
There we go. Well, I mean, we can wrap it up now, I guess. There's always going to be a never-ending flow of questions, and we try to answer as many as we can.
Yeah.
But that's it. At some point, we have to go back and
Absolutely.
work on this game.
Hope you liked it.
I hope you liked it. So just to wrap it up, the new patch was all about making the saving system more robust. So you saw there's a patch, you downloaded it, and you started playing, you're like, nothing changed. Well, you see the little saving icon, and there's changes in the system in the back. Lunar New Year survey is out now. Go check our social media. Please let us know what you thought about this. Put your thoughts and your suggestions in there. We will look at them. We will compile all of it, and you will be able to help make the next events even better. We will be at PAX East in Boston, 5th to 8th of April.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. Come see us. Come shake our hands. Wear your most awesome cosplay, and we will give you goodies and our everlasting gratitude.
Who's going to be there? Can you say?
I'm going to be there.
I'm not.
Okay. There's going to be a few people. Obviously, the whole marketing brand team. Gabrielle is going to be there, and I think Matt Walker is going to be there. If you want to come and hear firsthand the awesome power of Walker's voice
If you can't
from up close.
You can't find the booth, close your eyes
And listen.
for Walker.
Yeah. And the added benefit is he's going to come back from there, and he's probably going to have lost his voice a little.
Yes.
So it's going to be good for everyone.
For like a day.
And we love him, and what he says is interesting, but it's a booming voice. Let's
Yes.
call it that. Okay, so the last thing for me, I will. A side note: last night I went to see Weird Al at the Place des Arts. It was an awesome show, and Emo Phillips did the first part. So my words of today will be from Mr. Emo Phillips, who was saying, "Where would we be without geography?" Which is slightly clever. So there you go. They're not words of wisdom, they are words. It's exactly how he was presented. He is considered by many, is how they present him.
That's great.
So there, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Bjorn, for making this possible once again. Thanks to our mods for the hard work in the background there. Thank you. And thank you for coming to spend a little time with us. It's always fun. Thank you, Dave.
No worries. Thank you. All right.
And that's it. So we'll see you around.